In thousands of homes every single day, the alpha isn't the big dog, it's the cat. A 70-pound golden retriever ends up cowering in the corner while a 15-pound orange tabby strolls around the living room like it owns the place. It looks ridiculous. And honestly, it can be shocking the first time you notice it. So what's really happening? Who's driving it? And why does the larger animal back down? To find out, I analyzed animal behavior research, talked with veterinarians, and studied countless viral videos. And what I uncovered is basically quiet psychological warfare. Subtle, repeated signals that control space, confidence, and escalation. And the real reason behind this dynamic is not what most pet owners assume. How it works is the part that will change how you see dogs, cats, and animal intelligence. Because once you spot it, you'll never unsee it again. Section 1. The size paradox that breaks all logic. In a normal living room, the first time you watch a massive golden retriever get pushed around by a cat that could practically fit in its mouth, your brain kind of short circuits. It feels like it breaks the rules of nature, because in the wild, bigger usually means boss, right? But here's what I found when I went digging. In the cat-dog relationship, size means almost nothing. Who is in charge isn't decided by pounds, it's decided by social wiring. Why? Because cats and dogs aren't playing the same game. Animal behavior researchers at UC Davis point out that cats and dogs operate on different social hierarchies. Golden retrievers are classic pack-minded animals. They're built to notice, rank, keep the peace, and avoid conflict when signals get tense. And how did that get so strong? They spent roughly 15,000 years evolving alongside humans to be cooperative, emotionally tuned in, and let's be honest, a little too eager to please. So when a cat throws confident, boundary-setting signals, the retriever often doesn't lose. It chooses the option it was basically designed for: de-escalate and back off. In homes everywhere, orange cats aren't cute little pets. They're solitary apex predators just compressed into a fluffy, harmless-looking body. And that's exactly why this dynamic feels so unfair when you watch it. Who explains it best? Dr. Sarah Ellis, a feline behavior specialist, put it like this. A domestic cat still thinks like a lion. They don't see themselves as small. They see themselves as the dominant force in any territory. Here's what that means in real life and how it plays out. When a golden retriever meets another dog, it typically runs a whole diplomatic routine. Sniffing, reading body language, negotiating boundaries, and settling the vibe without a fight. When an orange cat meets basically anything, its brain goes straight to one question. Am I hunting this, or is this challenging my territory? So why does your golden back off? Not because it's weak, because it's smart. Avoiding a clash with a creature carrying 10 razor-sharp weapons is not cowardice. It's a clean, logical survival decision. De-escalate, create distance, live to nap another day. Section 2. The weapons advantage nobody talks about. In living rooms all over America, you've got this absurd mismatch. A golden retriever with a bite force, often quoted around to 230 pounds per square inches, enough to do real damage, almost never uses it on the cat. And when you realize that, it's genuinely confusing. Your brain expects bigger equals wins. But in the cat-dog dynamic, that assumption gets you humbled fast. Why does the golden hold back? Because cats aren't small opponents. They're furry ninjas with a built-in weapons platform. Here's how the combat advantage stacks up. The cat's weapon system. 18 needle-sharp claws, front and back, that can snap in and out in a blink. 30 precision teeth built for quick, targeted bites, not slow, crushing pressure. Faster strike and retreat reflexes, so the cat can tag the dog and reset before the dog fully commits. Movement tracking vision that's tuned for spotting fast motion and tiny shifts. Now here's what actually happens in real confrontations at home. Who is thinking fair fight? The golden retriever. Dogs tend to interpret conflict like a wrestling match. Push, pin, mouth, posture, repeat. Who is thinking end this instantly? The orange cat. It doesn't plan a brawl, it plans a surgical strike to the face. So where you see the dog as being weak, the truth is the dog is being smart. Picking a wrestling match against a creature armed with 10 little razor blades up front is how you earn a lesson you won't enjoy. In vet clinics across the country, this is a story I hear on repeat. One veterinarian told me she sees it all the time. A dog shows up with a scratched nose or even a scraped cornea, looking genuinely confused, like it got betrayed by the rules of a normal fight. What happened? The dog tried to handle the situation the way dogs do: posture, push, maybe a playful wrestle. But cats don't negotiate. When they feel threatened, they don't fight fair, they fight to end it. And here's how it sticks. One clean swipe to the nose is usually enough. The face is sensitive, the lesson is sharp, and the dog's brain files it under. Never underestimate that cat again. One bad moment can turn into lifelong caution or straight up fear of that orange furball. So the real question is, why do orange cats, specifically, seem so much more aggressive? Section 3, the orange cat personality mystery. Now it gets really interesting. In thousands of homes, you've probably noticed orange cats have a reputation for being extra confident, borderline fearless. And research is starting to line up with what people keep seeing. What do we actually know? In a 2015 survey-based study, over 1,200 cat owners consistently rated orange cats as more bold, territorial, and aggressive than other coat colors. When? Where? Reported in 2015, tied to researchers associated with UC Berkeley, in the way this finding is commonly cited. But here's the plot twist. It may not be the orange color itself. Why might orange cats act bigger than their body? Genetics. Cat behavior expert Dr. Mikel Delgado has pointed to a key detail. Most orange cats are male, often cited around to 80%, because the orange coat color gene is sex-linked. And who tends to show more territorial posturing? Intact males, thanks in part to higher testosterone, which is associated with territorial behavior and increased aggression. How does this show up in real life? More males in the orange cat pool, higher odds of bold, territorial behavior. The stereotype gets reinforced because people keep seeing the same pattern and calling it orange cat energy. Picture this in a typical multi-pet home. Who is running the house? Not the 70-pound golden retriever, it's the orange cat. And when you see it, you can't help but laugh and think, how is this even real? What you're watching is a perfect storm of instincts. The territorial drive of a predator, the confidence punch that often comes with male hormones, the solo hunter, only child mindset, and zero interest in anyone's social ladder. Why does that matter? Because that combo creates a cat that doesn't negotiate, it claims space. That orange cat is basically the animal world's accidental CEO. Didn't apply for the job, but will absolutely take the corner office anyway. Meanwhile, how does your golden operate? Like a friendly HR manager built to keep peace, read the room, and avoid drama. So where those personalities meet your living room, you get the clash. One animal pushes boundaries, the other de-escalates. And here's the part that pet owners recognize instantly. In a lot of multi-pet households, the orange cat often ends up acting like the alpha, even around animals much larger than it is. Not because it's stronger, because it's bolder, faster to escalate, and more willing to hold territory. But don't blink, because there's an even deeper psychological game happening here. Section 4, the confidence versus anxiety battle. In thousands of everyday living rooms, there's a detail most people miss. Golden retrievers, despite the size and strength, are often anxiety prone. And the first time you notice it, it's honestly jarring. The same selective breeding that made Goldens gentle, trainable, and laser focused on humans also made many of them hypersensitive to tension. They're built to keep the peace, not start a war. So what's really happening? And who's driving the emotional temperature in the room? From what breed profiles and behavior discussions commonly note, including AKC-style guidance people reference, Goldens are frequently described as high on separation anxiety risk and conflict avoidance. Why? Because they're literally wired for approval seeking. Are we good? Did I mess up? Should I move? That constant internal checking can look like weakness, but it's really social sensitivity. Now contrast that with the orange cat. Orange cats, especially males, often show the opposite pattern: confidence under pressure. Some veterinary behavior research has discussed how confident cats can show lower stress signals during confrontations. Conflict doesn't always stress them out. It can energize them. How does that play out? The cat escalates calmly, the dog escalates emotionally. And that mismatch decides the winner long before teeth ever matter. Here's the case that burned this into my brain. A family had a 5-pound golden named Cooper and a 2-pound orange cat named Cheeto. During a vet-led behavioral observation, Cooper's heart rate jumped to around 140 BPM. Whenever Cheeto entered the room, like his body was yelling, "Incoming problem!" Cheeto's heart rate, around 110 BPM, basically calm baseline. The cat was relaxed while psychologically dominating a dog 6 times his size. The veterinarian summed it up perfectly. The golden is running multiple calculations. Is everyone happy? Am I in trouble? Should I give space? The cat is running one calculation. This is my house. Everyone else is a guest. So where does dominance come from in this dynamic? Not muscle, not bite force. It's belief. It's posture. It's who acts like they own the space first, fastest, and most consistently. And now the real question, the one you're already thinking: can this dynamic ever change? Section 5, territory, history, and the first resident rule. Here's the pattern behaviorists keep seeing in real homes. Who runs the room usually comes down to who was there first. Where this golden versus orange cat dynamic shows up, the cat was often the original resident, and it never truly gives up that psychological home field advantage. Why does that matter? Because cats and dogs attach to the world in totally different order. Dr. John Bradshaw, author of Cat Sense, explains it like this: cats bond to territory first, then to people. Dogs bond to people first, then tolerate territory. So when a golden retriever puppy enters a home where an orange cat has already claimed the space, what happens isn't two pets meeting. It's a border dispute. The cat sees an intruder. The puppy sees a confusing, intense creature that the beloved humans keep accepting. And how that lands in the puppy's brain is the part most owners miss. That first impression becomes a permanent psychological blueprint. The golden learns fast. This small, angry thing is part of the household order, and apparently it outranks me. Now, the orange cat doesn't stay in charge by fighting nonstop. That would be stupid and exhausting. It stays in charge through what behaviorists often describe as strategic aggression, short, perfectly timed reminders that keep the dog off balance. What those reminders look like: a quick swat when the dog passes the food bowl, quietly claiming the dog's favorite sleeping spot. A sharp hiss the second the dog gets too comfortable. An occasional headbutt that looks like affection, but also says, "I set the terms here." That's psychological warfare at its cleanest. Unpredictability plus boundary enforcement. The cat doesn't need to win every minute, just enough moments to keep control. Critical insight. Your golden isn't being bullied in the usual human way. It's responding like a social animal that believes it's seeing legitimate territorial authority. In the dog's mind, the cat earned that rank early, consistently, and with consequences. And that sets up the final piece that ties everything together. Section 6, the evolution factor nobody considers. Let's zoom out for a second. In a normal living room, it looks ridiculous. A big, powerful golden retriever hesitates while a tiny cat holds the line. And your brain goes, why would evolution build a tank that backs down from a fur ball that feels backwards? But it's not backwards. It's brilliant, and it's the result of human selection. For thousands of years, people kept and bred the dogs that could live peacefully around smaller animals: cats, chickens, livestock, kids, you name it. The dogs that couldn't control themselves, they didn't get to pass on their genes. That's the real filter that shaped modern family-friendly dogs. And golden retrievers are basically the poster child for this. They were bred to retrieve birds without crushing or tearing them, the famous soft mouth, plus a calm, cooperative temperament. So when a golden meets a smaller animal in the home, its default move isn't dominate. It's read the room, stay gentle, avoid escalation. Cats came up through a different path. For most of their history, they weren't intensively shaped by humans for friendliness or cooperation. They largely self-domesticated by hanging around early human settlements and grain stores to hunt rodents. Humans didn't mold their behavior nearly as tightly. We mostly tolerated them because they were useful. So a lot of that predator-style confidence and territorial wiring stayed intact. So you end up with two very different operating systems sharing the same couch. Dog. Thousands of years of human-directed selection for cooperation, restraint, and social intelligence. Self-domestication plus a strong streak of wild rules still apply. When those two evolutionary histories collide at home, the cat still brings a wildcard mindset, fast boundary enforcement, high territorial certainty, and zero interest in negotiation. And here's the part that flips the story. Your golden retriever isn't weak, it's mature. It's socially smart enough to recognize this isn't prey behavior. This is territorial behavior. And it's emotionally regulated enough to choose the winning strategy long term. Don't turn a small conflict into a full-blown war. The cat isn't necessarily smarter. It's often just more primal. And yeah, sometimes primal beats civilized when the prize is the best spot on the couch. All right, let's recap this absolutely wild dynamic. In a typical home, your golden retriever isn't getting bullied because it's weak. It's navigating a social minefield the way Goldens are built to avoid conflict, keep the peace, and de-escalate. That's not cowardice, honestly. That's advanced social intelligence. And orange cats? They're not evil masterminds. They're territorial little predators with confidence that outweighs their body by about 50 pounds. The size difference doesn't decide the outcome because cats fight with speed, precision, and weapons, while dogs are wired for strength, restraint, and strategy. If this blew your mind even a little, hit like and subscribe because we're decoding animal behavior every week. And turn on the bell so you don't miss the next mystery.